Welcome to week 4's Big Group Hangout on Air. I'm Melody Hageman, a computer science teacher at Centennial High School in Las Cruces, New Mexico. This week, we'll focus on 2 activities to solidify student understanding of agent sets and algorithms. Before we get started, I'd like to remind anyone who's listening that you may post comments next to the live YouTube stream, and we'll do our best to answer them during this broadcast. I'll check on those a little bit later. Now let's get started. In teaching NetLogo for the past several years, I've found that students are often confused by the concept of agent sets. So I start them out with the NetLogo agent set activity, which will be available for you in the teacher resources section for week 6 of our MOOC. In the agent sets activity, the teacher asks students how to identify a given group of agents and then asks them how to get that group of agents to perform the given tasks. For example, how would I identify all of the red turtles? How could I then ask the red turtles to move forward 10 steps and right 90 degrees? What about all of the red turtles with energy greater than 50, etc.? I find it helpful to actually make the students write down the commands as we do them, so they have a resource of examples to fall back when they begin their modeling. When I run this activity, I also like to do all of the provided examples with my students as a class, and then I have them come up with their own unique agent set. It can be as simple or as complicated as they want. This activity is not the most glamorous, but it's really effective for helping students understand this difficult concept and feel confident about agent sets before they actually have to program them. Your resources will also include the locked-in activity, which is amazing for the introduction, formation, and evaluation of algorithms in the context of a real-world problem. This activity centers around helping people with locked-in syndrome, who are unable to speak or move at all other than blinking their eyes. Students are asked to create a strategy or algorithm for a person with locked-in syndrome to be able to communicate. Once students develop their algorithms, they're asked to test them in pairs and evaluate their effectiveness. The algorithms that students come up with are often really creative, and it's really easy for them to evaluate for themselves what makes one algorithm better than another, especially if they're having to test them out. Now, let's go to some common questions that have come up in the unit so far. Remember, if you have questions about any of our topics that we've covered in our broadcast or in the MOOC, you can add them to the comments for the live stream, and we'll try to answer them live. Okay, one thing several people have asked is, what should I put in the info tab of a NetLogo program? I like to think of the info tab as the instruction manual for my model. So if a user opens your model and doesn't know what it does or how it works, they should be able to click on the info tab and find out. So the info tab needs to focus more on what the buttons and the interface do and what the screen shows, and less on what the code is about. The code you can describe in the inline comments in the code tab. I hope that helps. All right, let's check and see if we have any questions in our comments. All right, it looks like we are good on that. So coming up next week, we'll be focusing on CS Principles Big Idea number 3, data and information in the context of modeling and simulation. You'll learn how to use some simple tools to collect a lot of data, as well as how to validate your models. Tune in Monday, November 30th for our next Hangout on Air. Thank you.